Kevin. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Reach Inland, where we are highlighting Black and minority businesses in the Inland Empire, and we want to kind of know a little bit more about you.
All right.
So, what do you do? Tell us about you. Who's Kevin Carrington?
Ooh, that's a pretty deep question. As far as career-wise and what I do, I'm an executive leader at a local hospital here in the Inland Empire. I also am an entrepreneur and a philanthropist. I started a nonprofit called the C3 Initiative, and we teach minority kids how to code and program and design, just really trying to get the STEM skills in their hands so that they can use it to kind of transform their lives.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you use these kind of robots, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. These are some of the robots we use in our program, and our program is truly focused on unlocking the STEM potential that lies inside of our kids already. You know this.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you countless inventions or items that we've started in our community, but then someone has kind of taken them and capitalized on them. And so what that showed me is that we have an internal, like an innate ability to create. And so those skills exist inside of us. So me being a futurist of sorts, I'm looking at, well, what are the things that could help our people dig out of the hole of, social economic depression that we've been sitting in for so long.
Yeah.
I founded the C3 Initiative, on a trip to a bathroom, believe it or not. And it was like, graffiti, although, in public bathrooms is typically not something you want to read. But on my way out of the bathroom one day, I saw a sign that said, "What if the cure for cancer was trapped inside of the mind of a kid that can't afford an education?"
Wow.
Right? It totally blew my mind.
Bathroom philosophy.
Oh, it's crazy. Bathroom philosophy. I like that. And so, that got me thinking. It was just like, man, what can we do, or what can I do? What can my contribution be to helping kids unlock that potential that's sitting inside of them, but giving them a way where they don't have to fall into this lottery type system that's been created. You can be one of 2,000 basketball players who are really good. They're only going to pick 3 of them to go to the NBA. Same for the NFL, same for entertainment, acting, you name it. It's all this kind of lottery. We're all great, but only a few of us can get through. Well, technology is one of those spaces where, if you're great and you're good at what you do, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
You go ahead and you build it and either sell it, or you create your own business around it. So that's kind of why we decided to focus in on that.
So amazing.
Yeah, cool.
So, what do the kids get to do?
Oh, man. So, one of the things that we did in building C3, my mind is really around long-term sustainable solutions, right? And so for a lot of kids, I was saying, we really thrive when you give us the problem and let us kind of apply our, our essence and our viewpoint and our perspective to it. And so what we're hoping to accomplish, and I'll kind of back into your question, but what we're hoping to accomplish is we're building a pipeline that would lead these kids to the a first encounter with the skill set, but then ultimately lead them to some employment in a tech company that is experiencing just a shortage of technical skill set, period, right? And so what we do is we connect with these tech companies and we say, hey, what are you looking for? Well, they work with us to build curriculum that we then take kids, and what they do is they get to experience real world problems that they will see if they were to get employment somewhere. And they learn the skill set, simplified version of the skill sets for them to get there. So we're teaching kids automation, we're teaching kids robotics, we're teaching kids coding, we're teaching them design, and they're learning all this kind of in a scenario-based learning style. And it's hard for people to conceptualize this, but think about it like this. If you went to class, if you went to a C3 initiative, it would be more like going to a ride at Disneyland versus, a class, a lecture in a classroom. So kids come in and their mind is instantly blown. They're thrown in these scenarios, and then they have to solve problems, they have to learn the lessons and solve the problems to accomplish the mission of the day.
That's
and
so cool.
I'm telling you, the kids are just, someone told me this a long time ago, people will always rise to the expectations you have of them. And so I think sometimes, you know, when kids walk into, our kids particularly walk into situations where people have low expectations of them, they rise to those expectations. So we just blew the roof off of the expectations. Like, no, you guys can kill it. You're smartest in the world. You're the, you know, we really pile on the expectation, and I've not been wrong yet. You know what I mean?
It's a beautiful thing
Yeah,
to
it's
have
awesome.
created in a space where these kids can just learn. And so what's the best way that we as the Inland Empire can support you and C3 and their mission?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know, the C3 initiative is a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Yes.
And the reality of nonprofit work, which, you know, this was actually my first endeavor in an entrepreneurial nonprofit setting. You know, I've started my company, Carrington, where, you know, I don't want to, starting a business is not easy, I won't say that, but some of it's straightforward, you know? It's like you make a widget, you sell a widget, and you just have to get really good at making it and really good at selling it, right?
Yeah.
And so with nonprofit work, you know, what I'm learning is your impact is often driven by the people who support you, you know, who can really help scale what you're working on. So right now, we've just been reaching out to everyone to donate. We run 100% on donations that we receive from well-wishers, individuals who kind of just support our mission and want to see us and our kids succeed. A lot of our donations also come from the corporations that we work with to help find talent for them in the future and provide education to our youth. But we run 100% on that, and so, you know, I always say that, you know, our impact is only as great as the individuals who pour into us. So the best way to help is to go to the c3initiative.org and click on that donate link, and, you know, whether you can give $5 a month or you can give $500 a month, all of it goes directly to us, you know, trying to change the future for many of our kids.
Change the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the world, we did. I know you just hit in my mind. The last year was the first year, and this was like kind of like a main pandemic year. You know, we're right in the midst of it, and we had the opportunity to be spotlighted during a user conference for our biggest sponsor, right?
Oh, wow.
And so we decided to not just do a lecture. No one wants to hear me get up and speak for, you know. So I didn't want to just do a keynote. What I wanted to do is I wanted to host an actual virtual C3 for as many kids as we can. We ended up having 200 kids from all over the world, Africa, India, China. We had kids from Mexico. We had kids from the Caribbean. We had kids from all over the U.S. They all came in to our virtual C3 event, and it was a blast. And it was, I mean, when you see the impact of a dream or a vision that you've had to grow tentacles that kind of span farther than your zip code, there's nothing like it. It just blows my mind. Yeah.
Wow. And so you mentioned the website, and where else could people find more information?
Oh, well, we are on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, I believe we're on Facebook as well, and we are listed under the C3 Initiative.
Gotcha.
And you can find us on all those social media platforms just like that. You can actually donate through Facebook sometimes and Instagram when we do events, but our website, the donation button is always there.
Right there.
Right
there. Just ready for
it's
you to
right
click.
there, ready to click. It's ready to click.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and we're so
problem,
excited for the things that you guys are doing.
I do want to say that I'm excited for what you guys are doing. I think it's a great opportunity to kind of highlight the work that's being done in this community for our people, and I hope you guys go a long way with it.
Thank you. We're very excited.